Homosexuality is, in fact, a mental illness.
If we catch you with a homosexual, the rest of your life will be a living hell.
One never knows when the homosexual is about.
This involves showing the gay man pictures of nude males and shocking him with a strong electric current.
What Jimmy didn't know is that Ralph was sick, a sickness of the mind.
I believe that a marriage should be between a man and a woman. No offense to anybody out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hang on, are you trying to tell me that AIDS is God's punishment for being gay?
Well, of course it is. What else could it be?
Homosexuals will find no solace.
Homosexuality should be outlawed. People should be driven underground and persecuted.
The second you see your son dropping the limp wrist, you walk over there and crack that wrist.
As a Muslim myself, this is something that I'm against.
The sight of two grown men kissing in public, really creepy.
I believe in marriage between a man and a woman.
What do? It makes me feel sick.
He was pretty repulsed by gay and lesbianism.
I'm against the teaching of homosexuality to primary school children.
You were made by God to be a male, and you're going to be a male.
We've come a long way since this, yet the world still isn't perfect. It's still filled with hate, ignorance and fear. A large percentage of you now have turned away from looking at this. But what's so different than this compared to a man and a woman kissing, which is more socially accepted? Is it not all love at the end of the day? Ernest Gaines once said, "Why is it that as a culture, we're more comfortable seeing two men holding guns than holding hands?" Is this the kind of message we want to send our children? That if you grow up loving somebody of the same sex, you could be bullied, beaten, or even killed for it?
An openly gay 15-year-old boy named Larry, who was an 8th grader in Oxnard, California, was murdered by a fellow 8th grader named Brandon. Larry was killed because he was gay.
Homosexuality isn't something new. In fact, it dates back to ancient Greece, where the love of one man for another was seen as the highest form of love, and also a normal part of everyday life. Later on, a woman named Sappho was ridiculed for her lesbian feelings, which then spread to England through Christianity. Although Jesus never said anything about homosexuality, around 400 years after his death, a Christian man named Augustine felt that sex was the original sin which got Adam kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Ever since then, sexual pleasure was led to sin in the mind of the Christians, and as having sexual relations with somebody of the same sex wasn't considered as procreation of the species, this too was considered a sin. From the year 1300 to 1861, the punishment for homosexual acts was death, by either being burnt alive or by hanging. It was still illegal up until 1967, when it was decriminalised and seen as a mental illness, which psychiatrists tried and failed to treat up until the 1970s. Since then, homosexuals are still not allowed to get married or give blood, yet have been given the right to freedom, to have a civil partnership and to adopt, although this dark history still hasn't changed some people's views.